Welcome to a short video about the history and new beginnings of the iconic St. Clair Inn. The St. Clair Inn has been given new life and a new beginning. Let's first watch the official ribbon cutting ceremony, which was held at 10 a.m. on Saturday, October the 26th, 2019. Then we'll have an opportunity to talk with the developers, Jeff Katofsky and Rick Baraka, and many of the other people that made this important part of St. Clair come alive again.
Hey, good morning, everyone. How's everybody? It's good to see you. Hey, thanks for coming out today, making this a priority. My name is Bill Cedar. I've been fortunate to be the mayor of the city of St. Clair. We have kind of a lengthy list of people. We're going to make some presentations today, so I'll keep my part short. We're here for a ribbon cutting, as you can see. Ribbon cutting actually goes back to Europe. And when a bride and groom got married, they cut a ribbon as a new beginning. Came to the United States in 1898 down in Louisiana. They were building a railroad. And they cut a ribbon, and it was a new beginning. The railroad moved the country. Without further ado, the first man I want to introduce is Rick Baraka, one of the most gracious men I've ever met, actually.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey, first of all, give yourselves a huge hand. Thank you, St. Clair, for making this all happen. We could not have done this without just the unbelievably tremendous amount of support that the community has provided us with, from City Hall to everybody here with their patience in getting this project done. So Jeff and I are immensely grateful for all of your consideration, help to get to where we are today. So today, obviously a big day. The one thing I wanted to just touch on quickly was the pink ribbon, the pink ribbon, which if I can I get Liv Brennan to come up here? So her co-patriot in crime in California is my 10-year-old daughter, Sophia. And Sophia and Olivia are good buddies, and my daughter, Sophia, said, "Hey, Dad, when you're doing this ribbon cutting, did you think about doing a pink ribbon?" And I was like, I had no idea. But this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and she educated me, and great things come from the minds of these guys that are our future. So I wanted to thank both of them for giving this thought to us. Obviously, we're going to make a donation to move that cause forward. So it's a long program, so thank you, Liv. I love you. But obviously, we had a great event last night, a million people to thank. Wanted to thank my partner, Jeff Katofsky, who is just a brilliant individual. He points and then shoots me in the direction that we need to go. And without his sort of guidance, help, advisement, behind the scenes work, this wouldn't happen. We have a tremendous crew of people. Susan Mason, who has done an amazing job bringing a crew of people together. Chalani, who is our event coordinator, sales director, not sure the right term, but she does everything, so I'm just going to put it out there. A guy who is really hard to give enough credit to is Michael DeSimone, who makes this thing work in ways that I can't figure out. Brought an unbelievable team with Chef Jacob and Samantha that do an amazing job, and you'll all get the benefit of that shortly. We have a great team of people, so I want to thank them all and let them know how grateful we are. And I just want you guys to give yourself a hand. Again, we're so proud to be here. Looking forward to doing this 10 years from now and having everybody back again. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. If you've not met Rick, make sure you do. He has a great heart. His partner and another guy with a great heart and a great mind is Jeff Katofsky. Where are you, Jeff?
Okay. No one's ever said I had a good heart before. That's Rick's job. All right, I have stuff written down. Last night, they took the mic from me. I won't do that again. This morning, it's cold, and I'm from California. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is a lot. This is a hotel opening, and look at the support here. And it's what we have felt for the 4 years that we've had trying to put. Is this lady back together again. We do consider the St. Clair Inn a female, by the way, which is appropriate this month, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. We're overwhelmed with the support here. The fact that we raised $100,000+ last night for veterans and children, just for people to come and take a quick look at that, is amazing, and it really shows the type of community that has welcomed us into it. And we do feel welcome. This is our home away from home. And we thank you for the support, for coming out this morning to share this with us. This is really an exciting day. Now, yes, we're cutting the ribbon. We're not open yet. I do want to let you know that, and I'll tell you why. I have said all along, we're not going to open these doors until we're ready to really open the doors. There's still a little bit of construction going on the north end. The North Tower is not quite done yet. The Sky Bar, which is above the ballroom, is not quite done yet. The Dive, which is the old River Lounge, not quite done yet. The rest of the hotel is pretty much done, except you won't see a lot of the furniture because we just haven't pulled it over here yet. Most of it's still sitting in the middle school. So we're getting there. 1926, which is our main restaurant, will be open in November to the public. We hope to have everything open before the end of the year. We think we'll make it, and if we don't, we'll let you know. No pressure, guys. But we want to get it there. When Rick and I decided to buy this beautiful building 4 years ago, we envisioned what we have now, and it's better. And I'm not going to go through the list of people I thanked last night. It was very long. It would be longer today, and I know I forgot people, and I apologize in advance, but I do want to single out two people, and I told you there's a little bit of a woman theme now. They're both women, and they really make it happen. One here and one in LA, and Rick said, I'm going to repeat it, Susan Mason, who I refer to as the voice of God. This doesn't happen without Susan. Susan puts this together, and what you'll experience today is all her doing with the staff that is second to none. The second in LA is Amy Lawrence, who is our chief cook and bottle washer. And nothing happens without Amy, and that she coordinates everything and makes our lives easier as we do what we do, which is support them. So I want to thank the two of them specifically, especially in a month where we're celebrating women. Look, I'm turning the page. The building, we brought her back to life, but we made her green. It's a very green building. You won't see it. You'll feel it as a guest. You'll feel it if you're staying here or if you're having dinner here. From an energy standpoint, from a technology standpoint, it's a very green building. Across the street, you'll see we're still in construction here, and you'll eventually, early next spring, you'll see a spa and a fitness center and a Shinola store, some gift shops, photography, florists, all the things that you want to have if you're here at a resort, or if a tourist wants to have, and we're looking forward to getting that building done as well. We've partnered with Zingerman's in the corner to do a Zingerman store there for you to come for breakfast or lunch. We'll pick up some treats and some other things that make you look like me. It tastes really good, and we're really looking forward to that. And that's all coming very, very soon. You'll see Dan Brennan's crew back out here on Monday, working their hands to the bones. Men and women out here working on every centimeter of this beautiful building to make sure that it is absolutely perfect and brought back to life. And we hope we made you proud. I'm completely off script, I'm worried. Again, I thank you all for coming out today. It's a big crowd. We're going to get you all through. We hope you are as proud of this building as we are. As I said last night, this isn't just a building, it's a living, working piece of art. And we're talking later, when I take the mic back again, we're going to talk about some artwork that we put up last night and made a little surprise for this morning. So with that, I'm going to hand this right back to Bill Cedar. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Rick and Jeff, really. From U.S. Senator Gary Peters' office, he is here represented by his District Director, Kevin Perrette.
Good morning, everybody. It is awesome to see such a huge crowd. We have a long program, so I'm going to be very brief. This hotel, this facility represents not just a step forward for St. Clair County, but a step forward for our entire region, a 4-star hotel right here in the heart of the city of St. Clair. We can all be really proud that we have this here. It's going to draw so much business to this county and so much business to this town. So on behalf of Senator Gary Peters, I wanted to present you, Jeff, and Rick with a tribute on behalf of the Senator for the opening of the St. Clair Inn. Thank you for believing in St. Clair County. Thank you for taking a chance on this place. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin. Is Ed Smith here? Not the pirate Ed Smith. No, no, all right. Congressman Andy Levin is here today.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. I am a member of Congress, but that's not why I'm here. I don't represent this district. I'm here because for the 8 years before I went to Congress, I created and ran a statewide clean energy finance market called Lean and Green Michigan. And the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to the person who worked with me here and helped on the financing of this hotel, Corey Connolly, right there. And the guy who runs Lean and Green Michigan today, Bali Kumar, right there. But look, we heard about this project, and I got a call from a guy named Jeff Bohm. The way PACE financing works is that local governments work with private developers to help them secure private financing. This is totally American market financing. It's not not government money. And Jeff Bohm and the rest of the St. Clair County Commission grabbed this thing and ran with it. And I just want to give all credit to the St. Clair County Commission for helping create the financing that helped with this project. But I want you to know, Jeff Katowski and Rick Bareka, it's fair to say this, Bali, they are statewide leaders. They're actually national leaders, but from our point of view, they are real leaders in using this mechanism to transform buildings so they are the most energy efficient and the greenest possible. So we ended up helping them secure $5.5 million of financing. And with their vision, I mean, this is just so moving to me. They took what I believe was the first hotel and resort in North America to have central air conditioning 90 years ago and had fallen into disuse and was closed, and reopened it as one of the very greenest resorts in the state of Michigan. It's just an incredible accomplishment. And I promise I ain't getting political on you all, but I just want to tell you this. You hear a lot of stuff about, environmental policy. This project, these men, these people, the local government and these business people are a symbol of how the market has to drive the change that we need in this country, and they're doing it right here in this village of St. Clair. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. All right, I want to recognize Michaela Duran, the State Senator, Dan Lauer's District Director. I'm going to move on, and we have our Michigan Representative Gary Eisens here today for a proclamation.
What a day to lose my voice. Hi, Gary Eisens, State Rep. This is my area, 81st District. It's not just my area, but I was born and raised in St. Clair. When I mean born in St. Clair, 4th and Trumbull. There used to be a hospital there, and that's where I was born. I grew up on Vine Street, just down the road a little bit. I used to go fishing behind this place. We jumped in, went swimming. This is my hometown, always will be. As a little kid, we used to come here thinking we'd see some of the Detroit Tigers, because they used to come up here in the old days looking for Al Kaline and that. We just tried to see. We never did see them, but we heard they were here. So this place goes way back, and it's been part of my life. I could tell you some stories we did when we were in high school around here, but that's for another day. But Dan Lauers and myself and Shane Hernandez got a tribute signed by the governor for Jeff and Rick. This is a good day, a very good day for St. Clair and St. Clair County. So I don't know if I can say much more, but I appreciate you guys coming out here, and I'd like to give this to Jeff and Rick. But anytime you get something signed by the governor, it's a pretty good day. Well, and me and Shane and
Thank you, dear. All right, moving the leg along. Here he is, the man of the hour, Jeff Bohm.
I'll tell you what, give these guys a round of applause again. $100,000 raised. Sit there right there. Mr. Mason, come on up here with me. I'm just going to make a few comments. So we moved here in 1972. I grew up right in one of those Victorian homes right on top of the hill. So I remember the St. Clair in its heyday, right? What it did for the city. And it had long history, amazing, and then we remember what happened to it, right? Essentially, as Mr. Katowski always will say, that it was closed for 3 years, but it was functionally closed for 10 years prior to that, right? You remember, and it was not, it didn't do us any justice per se. So got an opportunity when Jeff and Rick came to town, and we had been working on this project when the previous owners had it open, and did a lot of work to prepare it, because it wasn't a question of if it closes, it was when it closes, right? So we were able to get a lot of the front end work done on it. Then when the investors actually came along, we had a lot of the things accomplished. We had the environmental stuff out of the way. We had a lot of the state incentives in place, that type of stuff. So it was easy. And, when they first shared their vision, I always say, number one, I'm a white wall guy, okay? If you said the sky's the limit for the St. Clair Inn, dream it up, I couldn't dream anything up this cool. This is really cool. You guys get a chance to walk through it, right? And it's personal for me. I'm getting a little choked up here, but usually I don't. But this is our hometown, man. This is a great day. I've got a little something here, and I've got Jerry Mason. Come here, Mr. Mason. I've got to turn the mic over to you for a second. This is pretty cool.
For those of you who don't know it, my family owned F.H. Mason Company, and we drilled, and we owned all the mineral rights for St. Clair County, so nothing came out of the ground unless we drilled it. So my grandfather, John E. Mason, moved to St. Clair in 1919 and bought the house that's at the corner of 4th and Witherell, strategically located behind what is now LaCroix's Riverside Pub, and ran and drilled all the salt wells for Diamond Crystal Salt. And he and Fred Moore became very, very, very close friends. Now, we still own that house, and several years ago, we went through the safe and found original shares of stock from the St. Clair Inn that was built by my uncle, Walter H. Wyeth, that Fred W. Moore, had sold to my great-grandfather. And I told Jeff Bohm and Jeff about it, and so what we'd like to do is present the stock, and I'm going to read a brief paragraph about the shares of stock that we had. We are not business partners, by the way, with you guys. Jeff is trying to push that. I think it had something to do with access to the bar. We don't own anything anymore, but what's important about this isn't so much the shares of stock, it's the people. I'm standing up here and looking at all you guys. I can see you all, and it's just so beautiful. This is our hometown. And we love the inn, we care about it, it's personal to us. I've brought people here to this town from all over the world, and the reaction's always the same. They love St. Clair, and they want to come back. And it's because of you. Now I'd like to read, we got a long program, I'm going to read the language on the shares of certificate. I'll read the language and then present the stock certificates with Jeff's help to our new owners. On July 1st, 1926, Fred W. Moore sold shares of stock in the St. Clair Inn to my great-grandfather, John E. Mason, as part of the St. Clair Rotary Club's efforts to establish a hotel in St. Clair. The two men were friends at a variety of levels. Moore was CEO of Diamond Crystal Salt, and Mason was partner in F.H. Mason Company, which drilled all of the brine for both Morton Salt and Diamond Crystal Salt. The inn was designed and built by my great uncle, Walter H. Wyeth, and that's from me, G.D. Mason, past president of the St. Clair Rotary Club. So it's very special with my uncle having built it. And by the way, great-grandpa put Uncle Walt into business. He didn't have anything when he came here, and then bought shares of stock for the St. Clair Inn. So we're very proud, and we love you, and we love the inn. Congratulations. Let's present it to...
I just want to read this here. So 10 shares of preferred stock at $102 per share, and then 20 shares of common stock at $100. So that was over $3,000 back then. Those are original stock certificates.
Thank you, Jerry. This is what this is about, history in this town. And this will hang up in Prohibition for everyone to see. It's very cool. We're so proud and so thankful that you did this.
Great-grandfather liked to drink, so Prohibition. Make me look young and thin. I'll take that. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you, Jerry. That's amazing. Right now, I'd like to introduce the Mayor of St. Clair. Go see her. So, again, I've lost track of how many meetings I've been in with people who wanted to buy the inn for the last 8-9 years. And then one day I got a call from then City Superintendent Mike Booth. This guy from California wants to meet you. I said, where do you want to meet me? No, the Voyager. I can go to the Voyager. So I went down the Voyager. My wife, my lovely wife, says, you got to put on some nice clothes. You can't wear jeans and a t-shirt. I said, look, I'm going to meet this guy. I'm going to be me. So I go down there in jeans and t-shirt. Here's this guy. He's got jeans and a t-shirt on. And he won't remember this, but he looks at me and goes, he says, I'm so glad you weren't in a suit. I said, yeah, me too. So we sat and talked for a while, and he talked about Rick and their ideas and their plans. And that was 4 years ago when we met down the Voyager. And ever since then, I've been in my head, keep rerunning the same tape. Be patient. Patience is a virtue. Good things come to people who wait, you know. And now I think the fruition is here. We've seen what these guys have done. I do need to take a minute and thank some people that maybe have been thanked already, but I think it's worthy to thank them one more time. Obviously, Rick and Jeff for their courage and commitment to the area. They're doing a lot of good things, you guys, and they're good people. Danny Brennan and his wife, Heather. Danny, come out here. Danny. Where's Heather? Congratulations, Heather.
I don't want to. Listen, this building has been a huge part of us for the last 4 years. This city means everything to me. You have no idea how much our crew and all the guys have invested all their time, and they wanted to be a part of this for the community. It meant so much to everything, and honestly, seeing all you guys and all the questions, not constantly asking what's going on and wanting to know, it felt like this is all part of your own house, your own. This project was partly yours, and that's kind of how we approached it. And we're so happy for you guys to be able to view it, to be a part of it, and for many, many years to come, to be able to come and visit it. Thank you.
I do want to thank the St. Clair City Council. I know some are here. I saw Butch and Johnny over here. And all the people at City Hall, from Dee Bollier and Tim Raker, Rick Jefferson, Annette Sturdy. There's so many people involved with this situation on a daily basis. You might drive by and see stuff happening, but there's a lot going on that it just happens. I want to thank Bob B from the DPW, Paul Dingham from Channel 6 right out here, always doing a great job for us. And last but not least, I'm going to thank Jeff Bohm, you guys. Jeff Bohm, he's a wild man, okay? But I'm going to tell you something, nobody loves St. Clair, the county of St. Clair like Jeff Bohm. He just works so hard and his efforts are just tireless. I'm really proud to know and work with him. He's a great guy. D. Bowyer, yeah. Doug McLaren from the Rotary Club of St. Clair has a...
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Doug. I'm Doug McLaren, and I'm the acting on behalf of the current president of the Rotary Club of St. Clair, who was involved, as you've already heard, a bit in the original building of the St. Clair Inn. Since you all are quite interested, I'm sure, in actually seeing the inside of the inn this morning, instead of standing out here and looking at it, I'm just going to read the plaque really quickly to you. The Rotary Club of St. Clair, Michigan is proud to commemorate the rebirth of the historic St. Clair Inn. As an organization of business and community leaders, the Rotary Club of St. Clair in 1925 decided to establish a luxurious establishment to accommodate a large number of tourists and serve as a civic and social center. A public stock offering was held to launch the funding of the hotel in July 1925. And a campaign for funds exceeded its $180,000 goal in just 10 days. The St. Clair Inn was completed the following year. Hailed at its opening in September 1926 as the most beautiful hostelry which ever graced a city, the St. Clair Inn was a significant economic engine for the community and a historic international landmark on the St. Clair River. In 1995, the St. Clair Inn was listed in the National Register of Historic Places. For over 9 decades, the iconic inn was a premier tourist attraction for the region and international travelers and tourists. The St. Clair Inn will continue its legacy as a premier international landmark on the St. Clair River and will serve as a beacon of revitalization for the city of St. Clair and the region. The new owners have greatly enhanced the beauty and functionality well beyond its original scope and vision. Therefore, be it known that the St. Clair Rotary Club congratulates and recognizes the new owners, Jeff Katowski and Rick Bareka, for their persistence, vision, and commitment to rebuilding the historic St. Clair Inn. Presented by the Rotary Club of St. Clair, Michigan.
Thank you so much. You know, the genius of the Rotary Club, as I said last night, was picking this spot for this inn. And as you go through today, you'll realize it is the best 1,000 feet of this river from a view standpoint. And the genius of Danny Brennan and his crew and Vince Cataldo, our local architect, 98% of what you're going to see in here was local. All the people, all the materials, everything is local. It's all about St. Clair County. But you'll see the sight lines that they've created, taking advantage of the genius of almost 100 years ago when the Rotary Club picked this spot. We're so happy to be part of that and to be part of what they're helping us out to today and walking you through the hotel. So the Rotary Club is here forever. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. We are very fortunate in the city of St. Clair. We have a very strong and committed Chamber of Commerce. They do a tremendous job down here. When you see special events, you see something cool happening, don't be surprised if the Chamber's behind it. They're a great group of people. Please give them a hand. We have the president here today, Brian Onatowski. If I can bring Brian out here, he has a presentation to make.
Guys, thank you all for coming out today. I know it's cold. We're wrapping this up. We just like to thank Rick and Jeff for doing everything they did. We want to welcome you to one of the best cities in the world, St. Clair. And we would like to present you guys with something. If you guys can please come out and present you this, which is a plaque that says, presented to the St. Clair Inn, your business is an integral piece of the history and future of St. Clair. Guys, thank you for everything.
Thank you, Ryan. From the Blue Water Area Chamber of Commerce, Thelma Castillo.
Mayor. I'm Thelma Castillo, and I'm with the Blue Water Area Chamber of Commerce, and it's an honor to be here today, this morning, with all of you. My first actual introduction to the St. Clair Inn was about 12 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, when I used to work with the Detroit Regional Chamber. We used to bring a group of people here every year, and they would be here for 2 days, and they stayed at this hotel, and it was fabulous. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to bring them back here. Those are the leaders from the Detroit metro area. This is a gem. It looks great. You'll be so excited to see everything there. And we also have a presentation for Jeff and Rick. We want to congratulate them on their ribbon cutting, and we really are happy and proud that they're part of this community. St. Clair County is a great community, and we're glad that they invested here. So thank you, Rick and Jeff.
Thanks again.
Just a minute, you guys. Did I miss somebody back there? No. Say maybe. All right. The Economic Development Alliance drives the economy of St. Clair County, and Dan Casey's here.
Good morning. I'm a little underdressed because when I showed up, they gave me a hammer and they said, go to the north and get to work. It's all hands on deck. So I just have a couple of quick comments. The first is that a project of this scale doesn't happen without a lot of partners in the room and a team. And you know, most of those people are here today, and I just want to say that we appreciate your effort because that's how you get things done in St. Clair County, and we become known around the state because we work together. And that's how you achieve great things like this. The second thing is, last night there were a lot of thank yous, but there were a couple of people that didn't get a thank you. It was understood, but I want to make sure they get mentioned. And it's some of the people that were in City Hall, the quiet soldiers that worked on this project. One of them is right over here, and that's Sturdy. Thank you. Lynn Houston, I don't know if you're here, Lynn, but Lynn was, very involved in this project. Dee was mentioned earlier. Dee is another one. And Mike Booth, I don't know if Mike's here, but Mike deserves some credit because he was here at the beginning of this project. He did a great job while he was still here. And lastly, I just want to know, do we have any of the craftsmen that have been working on this place here today? If we do, raise your hand. They're sleeping? Okay, we have a couple back here. So I just want to say this, that without the dedication of the craftsmen, this place would not come back to life and would not breathe the way that it did 100 years ago. We want to make sure that it's here for another 100 years, and it's because of their work, their effort, their commitment, their passion, and their love for what they do that this building is going to be here for that length of time. So thank you to all of you as well. Lastly, I have a certificate of appreciation from the Economic Development Alliance that I'd like to present to Jeff and Rick. Two great guys to work with. So thank you. I'm not going to read it, but I'm just going to give it to you. Hopefully you can put it up in an office.
Thank you.
Over at the middle school.
Everybody, you don't know how much this gentleman's done for this project. He has been such a huge driver. I'm so appreciative of everything. Thanks for that.
Boom, well, people tell me to hurry up. Anyway, so we're going to bring Jeff Katkowski back up here, and they're going to unveil this art.
Thanks, Mayor. Last night we unveiled some art in the back. You'll see it that was created by Dale Evers, a genius artist who's here. Where are you, Dale? Dale's over here. Dale.
I'm a genius, but I'm right here.
Yeah, over here, Dale. Go over to your other creation here. We're gonna have Dale. Dale's out here from Paso Robles. From California, and he created something in the back that is magnificent. You'll see, but they're all men. The statues of men back there. And again, we talked about the theme of women. Got it. We want you to meet Claire.
We want to unveil her right now. Something that we believe will be iconic as part of this hotel for the next 100 years. Please make sure you find Dale today and shake his hand. This man is incredible and has helped us so much.
I'm going to present Dale has something for you, Jeff.
I only get 20 seconds.
I only get 20. Rick, do you mind coming up here, please? This is an artist's dream job, and these guys are great to work with. This is magnificent. I spent my childhood here in the summers of Michigan, so it means something to me. And this is Claire. And I made a smaller version for you guys because you got a lot of papers and plaques and things, certificates. Well, now you got Claire.
Awesome.
Thank you for the opportunity to be a part of your great city.
That is just beautiful. Hey, make sure you check out the statues out back. Wait till you see this. It's amazing. All right, sorry to say we're getting near the end of the program here, you guys. So we're going to cut the ribbon. Bring the scissors. Let's go. All right. Hey, one.
Hold on. Don't jump the gun.
Don't jump now. Now, don't hurry. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Cut away. All right. We're open for business. Sorry.
Now let's talk with the developers and the other important people that have worked with them on this project. We join Jeff Katofsky as he views the statue of Claire in front of the St. Clair Inn for the first time.
Beautiful. Well, we had all these statues brought here in secret, and I hadn't seen them. I mean, pictures as we're going on, right? But I'm getting the surprise just like everybody else.
But I love the statue he gave you.
It's awesome. Isn't she beautiful?
I just want to say, from the first time I interviewed you, I thanked you for coming here, and what a beautiful thing this has turned out to be.
It's everything we thought it would be.
Yeah.
It really is,
Yeah.
and hopefully everybody here believes that it's everything that they hoped it would be too.
Well, the stories that we heard today, back to Jerry Mason and his family, and how important it is to the city, and you grasp that, you understand that, you feel that.
I do, and I told you years ago that I didn't think I quite understood it, but I do now.
Yeah.
I do get it, and when you have 600 people last night buying a ticket to come see a hotel and support the charities of this community, and we'll have over 2,000 people today walking through the hotel. This is a town of 5,400.
Right.
Okay. Basically, the entire town is coming out to see a hotel opening. And when you talk to Susan Mason here, or Ron from Real Hospitality, or people that have been in the business for decades, they've never seen anything like this. That talks about what this means to the community, and we get it now. We do.
I saw from the 70s on the St. Clair Inn go down a little bit and go down even further and then down to the end. And I saw a lot of people talking about, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. But there was one person, two people, you and Rick, that latched onto it and really made it happen.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. The building, the history, it's dripping with history. It built itself from a design standpoint, but really the fact that all of the people that are local here rebuilt this inn, and you, as you walk through it, you will touch, you will feel, you will hear the building speak of the love that was put back into it. It's a magnificent building. We talk of her as if she were human, but the St. Clair Inn is a living, breathing work of art put together by this community again, and we're so proud to have done it.
Jeff Katofsky, thanks again for coming to St. Clair.
Thanks, Paul.
Rick Baraka tells us about how and why he and Jeff Katofsky like St. Clair and the St. Clair Inn.
Well, Mr. Rick Baraka.
There he is, my favorite person. How are you?
Congratulations.
Always good to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you for everything.
What a journey this has been for you and your partner, Jeffrey.
Yes, it has been a big journey for both of us.
Tell me when he came to you and said, I saw this building.
It is the other way around.
Oh, it's the other way around.
It was the other way around. We sort of got thrown into this thing. I came out and said, you have to come see this. And then he came out and was like, it was love at first sight. Yeah.
Well, he told me that many times in all the interviews we did.
He's busy. He doesn't have, he's got 5 things going at all times. So.
Well, and he told me, that the cardinal rule of real estate is not to fall in love with the building.
Correct.
And he did.
Yep.
And you did.
Yeah, I just think, we have a perspective from being from California where, coastline is valuable.
Yes.
And the value is so far in excess of other places that when you see something that's equally as beautiful to Santa Barbara or Carmel or some of these other places where, things would be immensely perfect. Thank you.
Get in here, dear. Paul Dingman, I met you one time before in the garage.
It's my beautiful wife, Jillian.
Hi, Jillian. Right.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So yeah, when we came here and saw that, we just knew that it would work.
And you guys live in?
We live in California.
In Los Angeles, in Sherman Oaks, yeah.
LA? Okay.
Right.
And this is what you've done for the community, what you've done.
I don't think it's that we've done anything to, the community has so supported this. We're business people. We saw an opportunity. We love the property. We have a mantra that we want to build the best thing possible and people will come. So the community has allowed us to do this. In California, this would never happen. It would never have. It had been 10 years through environmental impact, 50 other things that wouldn't, we'd still be talking. So we're blessed to be here.
Well, as I've said to Jeff many times, thank you so much for coming to St. Clair.
Thank you for everything. You've been an awesome supporter all over the past, however long it's been, 4 years.
Well, 4 or 5 years. And
so,
it's been
and I want to thank my wife, Jillian. She's kept everything going at home while I've been out.
That's right. Here in Michigan in the snow.
Yep. So thank you. Appreciate everything.
Yeah. Thank you.
Once the developers owned the St. Clair Inn, they started to hire locally, beginning with the architect Vince Cataldo. Vince is also the architect for the Inn on Water Street in Marine City and the Cadillac House in Lexington.
The man that had the vision after Mr. Katowski bought the building was a fellow by the name Vince Cataldo, the architect. Vince,
morning.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Paul.
This is quite a day for you and for the St. Clair.
Yeah, beautiful piece of property. Honored to be a part of it. Being a local guy, so appreciative that these guys came to town and allowed me to do my thing. So it's been a great ride.
Well, the thing that amazes me is all of the detail that you guys have gone to, how you've reused woods, how you've reused doors and everything else, and made it such a not a healthy building, but what's the word I'm looking at?
It's sustainable. It's green.
Yeah,
it's basically an old piece of functional art that we brought today's technologies into, and most of those technologies are going to be invisible to the eyes of all the people walking through here today. And I think it's probably one of our greatest accomplishments, or mine here, is that you just don't see it.
Right.
You wouldn't know by walking through this building. Most hotels have P-TECH units that are coming out the windows. We've removed them all. Everything's up in the attic. Everything can be serviced from private stairwells that the patrons of the hotel will never see service people doing. So it's a pretty unique property.
Well, you as you said, you're local, and that's wonderful. It's amazing that we found a great talent like you to be able to do this project. And you're all over the state with other things.
Well, a lot of things going on right now. It's a good time to be in my business. And again, I feel really blessed. I know we've had a lot of people look at this property over the years, and when these guys came to town, they were the real deal. I think there was a lot of questions and concerns by people. You probably heard them being a local guy that what's going to happen? Are they real?
We've heard the story before.
Exactly. So I think once I met with these guys and saw how they were wired and how they wanted to attack this property, I knew they were the perfect fit for this. And you couldn't have two better guys come to our community and kind of take care of things.
Vince Cataldo, the architect.
Thanks,
we
Paul.
thank you.
West Haven builder Dan Brennan and his wife Heather have worked on every inch of this project from demolition to completion.
You heard his name all day today. His name is Dan Brennan, and this is his wonderful wife. You are the man that accomplished it, that did it.
Well, I'm definitely not the man that accomplished it. I'm definitely not the man that did it. We had a huge team behind us. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of men, thousands and thousands of man hours. We had a great team behind us.
You got the boss right here.
Yeah, that's my boss. So, and honestly, I mean, there's no one individual that did this. This was a huge team, a community effort. You know, like Jeff said, 98% of the guys that worked on this project were from this area, and this is basically like their backyard. So it all meant a lot to everybody. You know, it was like fixing up your neighbor's house. So.
And you work in every day too.
I do. I run the office. So.
And who's this now?
This is Olivia.
And what grade are you, Olivia? Sixth grade. Your mom and dad do a great job, don't they?
Yes, amazing.
We're just proud. Honestly, we were humbled when Jeff and Rick approached us and asked us to be a part of it. Humbled, honored, and up to the challenge, to say the least. And I mean, we've enjoyed every minute of it. So.
I watched you 7 days a week, 365 days. Every time I'd go by, you were here.
Yeah, I think this project really became very personal for me. I invested, you know, my last 2 years of my life into this, and honestly, she's put I've put her through hell, but we put our whole life on hold to do this project. But it meant that much to me. Honestly, when I saw how much it meant to the community, it took on a whole different meaning. It wasn't just a building. It was almost like everybody was pulling for you.
Yeah, absolutely, they were. And I won't make you talk anymore since you got a little cold going there. But we salute you for all your efforts and your beautiful bride. And
thank you.
And you got a great
day.
family.
It's a great day.
Really great day.
Thank you.
City, county, and state officials all helped to make this project a success. First, we hear from St. Clair Mayor Bill Cedar.
Your Honor, you had the honor of being the Master of Ceremonies today at this really marvelous event. Talk to me about what's been happening in the last 5 years.
It's been a whirlwind in some respect, because now all of a sudden here we are. And we've been through such a long train ride here somewhat. But I'll tell you something, I was here last night and this morning again, obviously, but it's just beautiful in there. Those statues out back just blew me away. And when people get a chance to see those, they're going to really love them. And what's going on now in the mall, you know, we got some new businesses that are really beautiful places, and I think it's just going to have a good trickle-down effect.
Well, as you mentioned in your opening remarks, patience is an amazing word, and everybody was disappointed with what was happening with the inn, and there were so many stories about, oh, I'm going to buy it, or I'm going to do this, and none of it happened until Kotowski came along.
Yeah. And I remember, like I said, when I met him, and I could tell this is the real deal. And people would ask me, what about this guy? What about this guy? And I said, I think this is the real deal. And a lot of people were skeptical, you know, cautious optimism. But yeah, it's happening.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for all your efforts and everything that the city council has done to support him, and the city managers, and it's exciting for St. Clair.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Thank you.
Next is the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners Chairman, Jeff Bohm.
The man of the hour, Mr. Bohm, it finally happened.
Well, it's been 4 years in the works. Like I talked the other day on the program, I think our first interview was early 16.
Right.
But he had purchased the property back November 15. And then I know you've had us on the show a lot just to talk about the progress. You've covered it, and we're getting near the end of the round. Still a little bit of construction left to do. But when you get a chance to go through the historical piece, especially, you know, it's unbelievable. I just got choked up talking about it today. And
I've known you for a long time, and I've never seen you get choked up. But it's a feeling of passion, and I got choked up just a minute ago talking to him, that somebody would take that much time and effort and to find us and find the building and make it happen. The passion he's got is wonderful too.
It's unbelievable, and truthfully, like anything, when we first met him and their vision and everything, it was the energy and everything, and then to actually deliver and to see what's done today. As I said before, too, I'm a white wall guy, right? Yeah. It's hard for me to vision. If you gave me blank checkbook and said, dream up whatever you could for the St. Clair Inn, I couldn't dream up anything this cool. It is really neat. And kudos to them for letting us have the charity preview party last night. We had 600 in attendance, raised over $100,000 for local charities. And that just really speaks volumes about Rick and Jeff's commitment to the city. I mean, it really does. They're wonderful guys. And like Jeff always says, I live 20 2,500 miles from here, but they come here and they're part of the community.
Your board, your St. Clair County Board of Commissioners were integrated and important in this effort too.
Well, a lot of times when you have projects of this magnitude, you have to lean help, to the project. You have to bring in, kudos to Dan Casey, Economic Development Alliance. We've got our planning departments. We have 1,000 people that work for the county. So when projects like this come on, we got to get these things over the edge. We got to, assist and help out. And it's just not St. Clair. Now, granted, it's home for me, so it's a little more personal. But even in Marine City, to Port Huron, whatever, we're engaged in a lot of different things. And the local leadership, it is really a wonderful time to be in, and I say politics, but no pun intended, but just in leadership roles in the community, because the cities, the counties, everybody's really working together, and you see the investments throughout St. Clair County.
But you take it's not an easy job you got either. I mean, people always have other ideas and say, well, you're doing it wrong, but you guys all pursued, you stayed with it.
Yeah, and this is game-changing stuff. I mean, usually, you have different investments which help, but this is really a game changer for St. Clair and St. Clair County. You think about the 5.4 million people that live 2 hours away from here. That would make you the 23rd largest state in the country. You are going to have a lot of people who are going to come out to see this thing. People have memories. They have history. They had the 60th wedding anniversary. People got married literally 60 years ago here. They've been in Boston for 30 plus years now, and they had their 60th wedding anniversary. How many places are around for 6 years? I always say churches are around a long time, but how many places can you say?
Well, we'll call this a church.
An institution that you got married, and 60 years later you're back. It's probably nicer than it was 60 years ago when you were there. It's unbelievable.
Jeff Bohm, congratulations on all your efforts.
It feels great. Feels great.
And up next is former State Senator Philip Pavlo, who now runs Grindstone Strategies and is helping the St. Clair Inn with their marketing.
Joining us now is retired State Senator Phil Pavlo. Phil, you've been involved in this project since day one when you were still in the Senate, and what a day.
Well, yeah, we were able to work closely with the state agencies, so many moving parts to get to where we are today, and I was happy to help navigate that for my hometown. And now, after my post-legislative career, I'm doing the public relations and marketing efforts for Rick and Jeff and this beauty. And I don't want to say that it's a slam dunk of an operation, but the interest, and you're going to see people lined up all the way down the sidewalk today to come walking through this majestic property.
I was talking with Mr. Katowski a couple minutes ago, and the passion that he had for this project. I mean, he affectionately calls it the Fine Lady, and he really has thrown himself into it.
Well, when I met Jeff the first time down at Fred Moore's Boathouse, he said, "Hey, man, I made the biggest mistake you can ever make in real estate. I fell in love with this property." And, at the time we had heard a handful of people making different proposals to bring this back in some form or other. And having watched this for 4 years, you will not find one corner that was cut in any piece of the operation. But I think what they highlighted today is the fact that they have a St. Clair general contractor in Danny Brennan, Vince Cataldo, architect from St. Clair. They've hired 98% of the people from our community to do this project. So not only is it an iconic property, everybody in this community has ownership to it, and that will succeed.
Phil, thank you much for all you do for the community.
And finally, State Representative Gary Eisen.
Joining us now is the State Representative, Mr. Eisen. Nice to see you. Welcome.
Nice to see you.
You got a little cold today.
I picked it up at the Right to Life the other night. I think someone shook a hand and
you were the recipient.
Yes. So
let's talk about today and what this accomplishment means for the county, for the city, and really for the state too. And the state was really involved in helping.
I think it's wonderful. Every time I came down here and saw it, when it was vacant, it was terrible. Okay, and I don't know. It kind of like gave me a shot in the arm when they asked me to come down. I jumped at the chance. If I can do anything to help, I will. On the Lansing side, But God darn, I just think it's a cool day. And you know, this is part of my life. I mean, we used to come down here for breakfast after church on Sundays. We came down here for high school stuff. We partied in the bar. Okay. And I could tell you the story about the first time my brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law, streaked down here back in 1973. So, but back then
we'll save that story for another show.
So, but no, I'm just happy. And this is my town. Like I said, my family came here in 1857, and we've been here ever since. And all my family, my dad's 93, still lives up on Vine Street, and it's a good thing.
I remember a story when Jeff Boehm, who was speaking earlier, and Gutowski had an early meeting with the merchants and with the politicians, the local council people down at the Voyager. And Boehm said to everybody, anybody that worked at the St. Clair Inn, please stand up. And about 90% of the room stood up because everybody worked here.
Yeah, at one time. I never worked here because I was always on the other side cutting lawn and doing more other stuff. But I sure came down here a lot, though. But and I wasn't kidding. Back when we were little kids, it was that thing about the Tigers. You know, they're always coming down here. We're always down here, and Al Kaline and Jim Northrup and all those guys. And but we never did see them. But
they had the Tiger tour those years.
Yeah, that was cool.
Gary, get feeling better, and
we'll go home and rest.
Good.
So,
very good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching CTV Community Television and this special on the St. Clair Inn. I'm Paul Dingeman.